Welcome. In this video we're going to discuss the collection for Rhythm Plus samples, basically a 28-day cycle collection of saliva for hormone assessment, the adrenocortex stress profile, and cortisol awakening response curve specimen collection. This is the instruction sheet and we'll go through it briefly. These are the contents of these two boxes. It'll have these 18 vials. It'll have the labels, it'll have the specimen bag, it'll have the requisition slip, the FedEx mailer with a billable stamp, and additional instructions about how to fill out certain things and about shipping. I recommend that when you get the kit, open it all up like this, spread it all out, and read the instructions carefully first. This is the first thing you should read. And then go to this slip called the requisition slip. The first thing is this does not require any signature from our practice because the name of our practice is already written over here. So it doesn't matter whether the signature is here or not. A lot of patients ask for the question, but it does not require the signature. Secondly, when you go to the billing section, if you are Medicare, then you just check Medicare. If you are going through regular insurance billing, then you check this thing. But if you're just cash pay, then you can submit 25% of the cash price that we have informed you of and put that over here. We will provide you with the ICD-10 code, so you don't have to worry about that. We will instruct you about this thing. And when you come to this section, you write the date of the final sample collection over here. And then check this one out because we are collecting a 28-day cycle, or basically the entire menstrual cycle saliva samples. So you check the last one because we're also checking your cortisol awakening response curve as well as the adrenocortex stress profile. On the back, when you go, you have your personal information, insurance information, your payment information, and this is for Medicare patients. So you sign that. In fact, just sign it, everything, and then this goes in the mailer when you ship the entire all the samples. So now what do we do? So when you open this thing, you will find these tubes, and you get to this thing. So this actually are the labels, and you can see it has 1, 2, 3, all the way to 18 numbers. And if you see closely, it has name, date of birth, date, start time, and stop time. Basically, put your name and date of birth on all these. And then regarding the date, I'll tell you what the date. Date is the first day of the collection of your sample. And then start time means that, for example, you start collecting your saliva sample at like 7:01. So you write 7:01 over here, and you finish collecting the saliva sample, say 3 ml. At 7:02, then you write 7:02 and you circle AM over here, and that is how you write the start time and the stop time, and that goes on for all the sample collections. Now let's go to this chart. So basically this is the way you can map your menstrual cycle, and this is how you actually figure out how to collect on which days. So the first day of your cycle is the day in which you bleed. You start bleeding. And so you do not collect any sample on that day. You basically start collecting on day 3 of your menstrual cycle. And so this is the first collection sample, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? And so, so after that, you also, all these sample collections for the entire cycle is supposed to be collected from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. Please do not make it variable. Keep within this time range. I recommend 7 o'clock every day so that we know that's the exact time of the sample collection. And just for your ease, you can write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day your day one falls on. And you can also write the dates over here for your ease so that once you've written all the dates out, you can actually transfer the dates over onto this label. And all these labels then are affixed onto these respective tubes. And another thing over here, that for the collection of the saliva sample, some people have a little hard time spitting out stuff. So basically you can use some lemon in front of you. Think of a lemon, think of something sour, or you can actually touch your tongue to the back of your teeth on the upper part of your mouth or your palate, and then yawn, and that also increases saliva production. One more thing, that regarding if you're taking any medicines or medication, will let you know what to stop and when to stop. And also that you cannot eat drink or floss. You can eat, prior to the collection of the sample, and plus you can floss, you can brush your teeth, no use of any mouthwash. You can only drink water. That's the only thing you can do, but do not eat, brush, use any tobacco products, chew a gum, nothing. And so that's about the bubble instructions, but I recommend still, please read all these in entirety very carefully, and do not skip any section. So now let's come to this thing. So this is, say, day 1 of your cycle. So you open the tube, and you basically put the tube next to your lips. So imagine these are your lips, and then you put it next to your lips, and you start spitting into this thing. And basically there are, from 1 ml to 5 ml you have the gauge. The minimum required for them is 3 ml without any bubbles, but I still recommend go all the way up to 5 ml so that they have enough saliva sample. But you always write the time of stopping collection. When you are at 3 minutes, write that as the stopping time, so that they're clear as to how much of saliva came out at of 3 ml. But like I said, I recommend you always collect more beyond the 3 ml so that they have enough sample. A problem happens, they have at least more than they need. And basically, once you collect the sample, you close it, you affix this thing label onto here, and then you freeze it in your freezer vertically like this. You can use a little tray or whatever, but please freeze it vertically. And this way you go on day 2, 3, and all these different days of collection for all the saliva samples. And so now when we come to your the 29th day, basically after you've done the day 28, on the day 29 now, you're going to collect your saliva sample for your cortisol awakening response and stress profile. So what do? The night before you're supposed to collect, these are the blue tubes which will be applicable. So you will be basically needing label 12, 13, 14, all the way to 18. And again, label the whole thing the night before, and say you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Do not turn the light on, it's mentioned over here, and keep a very dim light, because if you do turn the light on, it drops the melatonin levels. So you basically make sure that light is not on, and then basically you start spitting into it. The minimum requirement for this morning sample is, as it's mentioned over here, is 1 ml. However, I like I said, again, say you start collecting the sample at 6:01 and you finish collecting the sample of 1 ml by 6:02. You write, or within the minute, if you're finished, you just write the same time over there, but you still continue to collect more. But for the 1 ml, just do write that this is the amount that you collected, and always go above. So for the purple or blue top, you basically need only 1 ml. Make sure there are no bubbles which are accounting for the amount of saliva. And so say this is a waking up sample, and then at 30 minutes, say 6:30, now you will go and collect the second sample. By this time you're up and about, walking around, and so this is the 30-minute sample that we are checking on you. And again, you cannot floss, you cannot brush, don't do any of those things. No, only drinking water is allowed. And you collect the second sample. Again, minimum requirement is 1 ml, but you can go all the way up to 5 ml. I do recommend you could submit more than 1 ml, and you always write the time. That say you start collecting at 6:31 and you finish collecting the sample of 1 ml by 6:31 or 6:32. Then you write the time of finish over here of 6:32, and then affix that over here. So this way you have these two samples. And as you collect them, you should freeze them also right away. Again, like I said, vertically freeze them in your freezer. And of course, then you go to the sample collection between 7 to 9 a.m., then between 11 to 1 p.m., between 7 to 5 p.m., then between 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then if you wake up in the middle of the night, 2:30 to 3:30 in the morning. And that's how you collect the white tops this time, not the blue tops. The blue tops are only for waking up in the morning and at 30 minutes when you wake up. That's only the 2 times. The rest are all white tops. So this way you'll be submitting 18 samples. On day 29 is this day, the day when you'll be collecting your sample for your cortisol awakening response as well as adrenal cortex stress profile. Okay, so once you have collected all these samples and they're frozen, you put them back like this in here. These have been already all affixed onto all these. And so you take this specimen collection sample. It has a blotting paper inside it to absorb any moisture. And you basically put these in here. Normally sample bags have, and you write frozen over here. Normally these collection bags do have a little sleeve and to put the requisition slip, but I see that doesn't have a sleeve in here. Actually, no, I don't see a sleeve over here. So you basically seal it, and you I recommend that if you can get another separate bag like this, or a bag like this, and then put it in here so that it doesn't become wet or get moist. You put that over there, and then now you get the FedEx mailer, and you fix it onto this over here. Now this this purple label shows overnight shipping. So if you do finish all your sample collection on a Friday, then you can submit it on Saturdays. But since you're collecting all the way up to 2:30 in the morning, I do recommend that you wait and never ship out on a Friday. Always ship out on between Monday through Thursday, never on Friday, so that you don't run the risk of it sitting somewhere and everything, you know, the sample getting destroyed. So I definitely recommend only shipping out the sample between Monday through Thursday. If you have a holiday, wait for the holiday to go away and then you submit it, rather than, you know, send it around the holiday time and then again it sits somewhere in some shipping place or sits in the post office box or somewhere, and the samples get all defrosted and they're destroyed. So the whole idea is that they get them in time. That's why they have an overnight shipping for these samples. So basically you stick it over here. You have hopefully put this in another Ziploc bag to keep it dry. And then you put these together in here. And then you seal it. You remove this from here and you seal it. This is affixed on it, and now it is ready to be shipped. And that concludes the instructions for your cortisol waking response curve, your Rhythm Plus for the 28-day cycle, as well as your adrenocortical stress profile. Thank you.